So, a little over a week ago, I released my first game into the Google Play Store and posted the trailer on YouTube. I spent a little over a month to make this game, and I'd just like to spend this time to go through the process. The first thing that I sat and thought about was, what is this game gonna be about?
Why don't you just make a game like Subway Surfers? I think that's easy.
But there's already a game like Subway Surfers.
Yeah, true. Then add zombies.
And just make it about COVID zombie apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
So then I started to work on this COVID zombie apocalypse Subway Surfer game, and the inspiration for the main character was this guy that was totally pulled by random from Google. So now I just need to get used to this drawing so that I can make a 3D model. And of course I do have a template of a human from my other game, Crown of the Wizard, but I'm just gonna shake some things up and just actually give him some fingers. And this is the final product, not too shabby if I do say so myself. So the next thing that we need to do is to just make some animations, and I could do this by myself by adding an armature and spending some time here, or I could just go to Mixamo by Adobe, which is a cool place where you can bring your already made 3D models to get some generic human animations. And I just needed mainly a few like running animation and a jumping animation. Then I found this cool Simple City asset pack for free and it's now our asset pack 255 Pixel Studios, and I spent some time playing around with this asset pack. Maybe I spent a bit too much time on this, but it's mainly because of the performance issues that I was running into, because if you're playing it on a PC it should be fine, but my target operating system was either Android or iOS, so there were a bit of performance issues when it goes to that, because this asset pack actually has a lot of materials in it. You can tell by the amount of different colors and different objects or different things that's in the scene. So what I ended up having to do was to export everything as like one object to Blender, and then like reducing the amount of materials that was there, or if something is green then you wouldn't want to have another thing that's like a light shade of green and a dark shade of green. So what I did was to just make everything have like the same shade of green, just to have like less materials overall in the scene. And now this is where I begin to destroy my brain cells by trying to code out stuff for the game. So my main aim for this code was just to get the character moving, and I wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to make the character run forward or if I wanted for the scene to be moving, and that's actually what I ended up doing. I ended up making it so that the stages move instead of the character, so the character is in place but then the stage is what's really moving continuously, and it's spawning in new stages. So what I did was to actually design 4 different variants of how a stage could be, and it's just spawning right in front of each other and just going by, and the player is just running on spot basically, but it doesn't appear that way to the player, but that's what's happening. So at this point I basically had a functional prototype, and I just needed some more assets to make the game a bit more fun. I went back over to my friends at Mixamo to get some free zombie character models, and I also went ahead and made some 3D models for what looks like a bus and a car in the game, so that they can have different materials and just make them appear different. So like if I made this bus here with a yellow color, I'm going to give it like a red color and also a blue color. Alright, so back over in the game you can see that there are 3 lanes in the road, and I placed invisible points into the center of each lane, so whenever the player swipes left or right, it'll just move the character towards that point. And what I wanted to accomplish next by script is to get the cars and the zombies spawning, so I employed basically the same tactic by making points in the center of each lane, but I placed them a bit further away from the player. And the zombies would be moving at about the same pace as the stage, while the vehicles will be moving independently. Or you could just say that they're going to be moving a lot faster than how the zombies and the stage is moving. So I placed the vehicle's spawn point a bit further away so that the player has some time to react. I also found this cool free software called Inkscape that you can use to convert images into scalable vector graphics. Trust me, I have no idea what this means, but I just know that you can import these types of files into Blender, therefore you can turn any image into a 3D model. For anyone who wants to know this process, you basically convert the file to curves, and then from curves into a mesh, and then you just join all the meshes into one object, and then you can just extrude it from there. So from there, I imported the 3D models and attached a script onto them just to make them spin and seem a little cooler. And then I just did the same thing for all of my other collectible items. From here on out, I just had tons of UI work, like designing the icons, getting all the buttons to work, and just polishing the entire player experience. I added some instructions, a bunch of achievements to keep the player interested, and I also plan to integrate this into the Google Play Store so that you can get points for your profile from there, and also a shop where the player can purchase different kinds of clothing items and even guns to start the game off with. And at this point, from a lot of testing, I think the game is running pretty smoothly and everything on screen works like it should be, keeping track of the score, the amount of bullets left in the gun, and the player's health. I think everything is just working from this point. And I also added some cinematic attacks and explosions. Yeah, and basically that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. The link to the game on the Google Play Store can be found in the description. I'd love to hear your feedback or thoughts in the comments, so just please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And I'm also planning to post my experience of uploading this game to the Play Store, and I'm just gonna also talk about how you can make money from your games, so you can subscribe and look out for that. I'm just gonna leave you guys with some gameplay here for those who don't have an Android phone or want to see some more gameplay. Peace out, guys.